Hey, everybody, we're back. I'm super excited to have this live. We're going to change it up a little bit. Crystal and I don't normally get to do this, and we're coming to you a few days late, but we've got lots of great information, and we're super thankful for you hanging in and giving us some grace for a few days late, a few hours late. You know, what is it? A day late, a dollar short, as my grandfather used to say. So, Crystal, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have so much going on. The commission has been so busy. I think that getting this type of information out, that's why we started this series, and this month is going to be a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton. We've been busy, that's for sure.
All right, so let's go back. Let's do a quick recap. We'll talk a little bit about some updates that you have for us, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the great things that are coming forward. So let's go back with Hire a Vet Day. This is a first in the commission's history. National Hire a Vet Day is a national initiative. We saw some of our partners do a little bit about it on social media, but we went big and actually had our first hiring event here in Lorain County, and we had a really great showing. Your service officers were there. You met some great new people. We had about 16 employers that were from all kinds of different industries. And it looks like the stats for the day specifically showed 6 veterans got a new job. It was a great event.
It was a great way for us to connect with those people who haven't used our services and to be able to talk to those who have used our services, but be able to touch base with them so that we don't lose that contact with them as they move along in their journey.
Yeah. And, you know, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say and what your perspective is. But I think one of the unique things about Hire a Vet Day that we kind of had an unintended consequence for was it ended up being a program that's really come through the whole year. You know, we've had our expungement clinic that was able to remove barriers for both employment and housing. We've had our LinkedIn series that led up to Veteran Hire a Vet Day. And now we're going to proceed into our veteran owned business certification. It really has had a bunch of touch points. It wasn't just a once a year event, and really brought in a unique perspective for veterans that we don't always get to interact with.
Oh, absolutely. And it was nice to be able to have companies who are looking for those veterans, given their background and their work ethic and things like that. Those are definitely things you can count on.
Yeah, it was super great. Okay, so if you were a part of Hire a Vet Day, or you didn't get a chance to, or for some reason you haven't heard us talk about it quite yet or not, there is a Hire a Vet group on Facebook. So you can continue to see job postings go there. We have employers there, all kinds of things, and that will continue to grow throughout the year. So feel free to jump in there. If you need some more information, you can drop a comment here, both in Crystal's and my conversation today, or anything that you see on our social medias, and we'll get you that back into that information. So shout out to everybody that participated in that. Then we went to, yeah, well, I didn't, you did. And yeah, you hung out with some of the gentlemen here in the office in Arizona with NBLSP. And this was a really great invitation, and kudos to all of you for the hard work that you do to be invited. Tell us a little bit about your Arizona trip.
So with Arizona, there were about 6 other states: California, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, or just a few of them. And it was really nice to network with them to see their process and how they handle claims, how they meet with their veterans, how they reach out to them. And their processes as well. But it was also comforting to know that we are doing a lot of those things that they are doing on a state level, because some of the states operate not necessarily under, um, like, take for instance, in Ohio, we have 88 counties, and each county has a veteran service office. However, if you go to another state, they don't have counties. So they're a little more spread out. And um, the way they make an effort to meet with their veterans is a little different, just because they're not as close. Sometimes it's 50 miles to see a service officer. So it was great to meet with them, exchange ideas and things like that. So It's always
Yeah,
great.
that type of think tank, I think you guys brought back some really great best practices, some of which we were able to contribute for them. And I think that's a shout out to all the hard work you guys are doing constantly. Our veterans, obviously, Lorraine County is the first county engagement for NVLSP. We're the first in the nation to be able to do that. And for you guys to go in and contribute at the county level, kind of with the big dogs, right? But
Right.
also be able to contribute those best practices, you guys contributed and we brought back a ton. So just helping the veteran. And, I know you guys got to get up there and present, and I heard you guys were maybe some of the better presentations. So shout out to all of
Oh
you.
yeah.
But I think again, we're just bettering what the veterans of Lorraine County receive, and that's the goal every day. So you got to go out and experience the dry heat for a few days, but
Uh,
also have an opportunity to really be a part of that bigger conversation and move the dial here in Lorraine County.
oh yeah, absolutely. And it was hot. That's for sure.
It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. Well, then back here at home, we had Paul, who is the executive director from MBLSP, on. If you didn't get a chance to participate or listen in on our summer session of the executive lens, I'm sorry, the legislative lens, make sure that you do. Those are happening both while the Ohio legislative floor is open. We're doing that with David Root while Ohio is in session. But then David jumped in over the summer session and was able to talk a little bit about some of the bigger issues. And Crystal always is weighing in on what's relevant here to our county. Anything from older cases that help us get the Agent Orange dollars to our Vietnam vets to, even combat time or one that we discussed this last time was female and male descendants getting compensation if they were exposed to things in Vietnam. So really great things that are still affecting the veterans here in Lorain County. And again, an NVLSP win.
Oh yeah.
Super cool. Okay, so one of the things we want to talk about today is an update that's relevant here to the office. When people are filing their claims, so I'm going to let you speak to this. This is super important to our veterans, how they're engaging with us, and then maybe, hearing things on the internet, then coming back to us, whatnot. We just want to keep them the most safe in their claims process. So tell us a little bit about the changes that are going to happen here in the office.
Oh, well, we're noticing an uptick of people who are filing their claims through these claims companies. Okay. So, they could be giving a coach, what they call a coach, access to their va.gov, and they're going in there and um, running it through AI and telling them what to file. Uh, these companies also charge, even if they say they don't charge. Sometimes it's like a donation, things like that, or they take a percentage of your award. For some people, these companies, you know, get them their decisions and get them their awards. However, you don't really see too much about the flip side of that. So the
Yeah.
people that who have worked with some of these companies are coming in and they're either having their decisions or their connections revisited, they're being reduced, they're being severed. So what's happening is when these companies run everything through AI, they'll just run it, they'll send it in, and that could possibly reopen things. So I just want the veterans out there to be safe. It's one thing when you do the claim yourself, maybe it gets denied, maybe it gets approved, and you feel like it should be at a higher rating or it should have been approved. If you were denied, then come see us. It's really hard to go in when something like a company or a coach goes in and all of your stuff is kind of all over the place. So it
Yeah.
makes a bit of a mess, because there's claims that, conditions that you filed for, and then this company says, do all of these other conditions that are actually involved in the rating process that you already have. So then you're reopening everything. So, yeah, if you ever run into that, please come see our office, please at least check with our office before you work with one of those companies. Also, I'd like to say if a company is telling you, or a coach is telling you that you need to obtain your military service record or your military medical record, and you've already filed claims, in my head, that's telling me that that's not an accredited um, service officer or an accredited claims agent. Because if you if you have already filed claims, your records are in the system that they should have access to. When they can review your exams, all of that. So when you're running around trying to gather all this information, which we all know that trying to obtain records is really hard, and also your compensation exams, you're going to be waiting longer than working with an accredited agent. So
Yeah,
I just want to
I
make the
think for
beware.
yeah, yeah, right. If it sounds like it's too good to be true, it may be,
Mhm.
and it most likely is. We talk a lot about this on the legislative lens from the state level, and the claim shark issue, which is very widely spoken about, especially on our social medias and some of our brochures and such. It is a very live issue right now, but they're learning to disguise themselves, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
AI is not necessarily the best way to go about it. Crystal and I have talked about this kind of at length, and the worst thing we can see is for someone to come in and have their amounts reduced. We don't
Yes.
ever want to see that happen because this is not a sliding scale. It doesn't go down and then go back up. And again, you should get all of your dollars. You hear this across all of our channels. Again, NBLSP, you keep all of your dollars. That's pro bono work.
Right.
So if you're hearing some of these red flags, just call and ask. It doesn't cost anything to ask. If you're sitting at the VFW or the Legion or somebody and they say, "Hey, I got a friend," unless that friend works in this office, that's probably not the right place to go. And we just really want to caution you, and we don't want to have to sever a relationship we have here for your safety because there's been the wrong set of steps, and we can't be a part of that process because we're too far removed at that point.
Yeah, and there's always updates through the VA. And when you're an accredited agent or accredited VSO, you're finding out about these things because we're doing those on a daily basis. So we just want everybody to, receive everything that they deserve and not have
Right.
any of it taken away, and do it as quickly as possible, or as quickly as the VA will make it possible to
There's real
receive their
time and there's
benefits.
VA
Right,
time.
right.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out to your service officer, reach out to someone here. You can send an email, or, we try to be as responsive as possible. You can comment on a video or something going on here on Facebook. By the way, Crystal, you have a fan in our comments. Crystal's been amazing to work with during my claim process. Thank you for all you do. So, girl,
Aw.
people think you know what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, we just, again, we want to make sure that you're protected, and that all of the money that you have earned, not a
Mhm.
handout, money you have earned, stays in your pocket. So,
Right.
okay, awesome. Let's do some FA. Jackie is not in the seat today. You are, but
Hmm.
she sent us
Oh.
notes as does Jackie. So
Hmm.
Jackie's got two programs running in her department right now. One is our back to school program, and obviously back to school just feels so close. But the back to school program has had some updates. If you have received financial assistance within the last calendar year, you qualify for back to school. And Crystal, I'm going to have you tell me if I'm saying something wrong here. But
Sure.
if you're unsure or if you need to apply, then you just need to send an email to fa@lcvsc.com, and you can apply for your FA benefits. But this has been a small change in the program. So if you have been awarded your financial assistance within the last calendar year, up to the back to school program last year, it doesn't necessarily include the back to school program last year, then you would qualify for this year. And I think that meets all of the qualifications, right?
Yes, and I'd also like to note that maybe a lot of people don't know this, but this back to school program, it also includes like dependent special need children or adults who are in a day program as well. I have a special needs son. He still depends on me, but he's over 18 and he does go through a day program. So I just want to put that out there because I know we have some clients that are in that situation as well.
Yeah, that's a great caveat too. I just had somebody ask me that about the cemetery as well. And
Hmm.
dependent child does not always mean up until 18. It means
Right.
deemed dependent in a lot of instances when it comes to your benefits. So if that is something that is relevant to you and your family, then again, just call and ask, and we can help walk you through that. But that's just a designation, and then it continues to qualify for the program. So yeah, good call. The other one is we're doing a fraud and claim talk.
Oh.
Or, I'm sorry, fraud and scam talk. And this is the first time we're doing this again. We've got so many new things going on around here. This is with a prior FBI investigator, and he's coming to talk about all the ways that we can be frauded and scammed. But it's going to be great. You can sign up for it. It's completely free. You just need to call up to the front desk and let Carla know, or you can comment on the video below and we can get you signed up. This is going to be a great resource. And I don't know about you, but I feel like every time I open my email, there's probably a scam in there.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And the phone calls.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, spam blockers. So, if this is of interest to you, we will probably not do this again. This is a one-time shot. So, if you're interested in attending, please make sure you take the time, get signed up for this, and come on out. I believe that there's cookies and coffee, so come on out, get yourself a cookie, and sit in on all the ways that we could be frauded. So that's awesome. All right. Then the next thing that's coming up is the fair. Um, I have been a part of this Lorraine County Fair since I was a very small child, and every time I try to not do this, it comes right back at me, Crystal. I don't know. um, but we've made some changes, and there will be so much going on in the Veteran Barn this year that I hope everyone just takes a chance to come down. We're going to have Stomper down at the barn for Children's Day or Kids Day, which is Wednesday. We'll be having therapy and service dog demonstrations on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday by Riley's Angels. These will be so cool. The service dogs will be out actually doing a demonstration. So come down, see them. If you don't know what Riley's Angels is, come check this out. Our ROTC teams will be down folding flags, which will be super awesome. There's a coloring contest. Veterans Day is Thursday, so all of our veterans get in on free on Thursday. And then there's just the normal events of the fair. Ask Jacob, he'll sing to you if you know Jacob well enough.
Oh.
He's very excited about the entertainment. So you could all, if you know Jacob, you could ask him that. There's the combine derby, there's tractor pull, all the things. We will be doing dog tags. And I think this is probably a super cool component as well. But in the Veteran Barn, you'll be able to have your dog tags made or recreated. You will need your DD 214, so bring that along. More information to come, but this is something we've never done before. We've always just done your veteran ID cards, and now we're doing the dog tags. So I think this will be super cool, Crystal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody, there's a lot of people who wish they were able to keep their dog tags or they lost their dog tags. So this would be great.
Yeah, I think we want to give everybody an opportunity to come through the Veterans Barn, and it
Mhm.
kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And we've made it stand out this year. So lots of things. The only other thing about the fair that I will mention is if you are a service organization and you would like to participate, or even kind of if you don't want to participate, we're going to ask you to kind of man your tables. Um, the VFW, AMVET, Legion, DAV, and Purple Heart all have tables. So if you'll reach out to Blanca here at the office, we will get you your sign up link. And we're hoping that you guys will all, as a community, man your tables. You should all be receiving a letter. If you haven't, again, you can comment on the video here or reach out to Blanca and she'll get you the link. But we would really appreciate it if everybody has their tables manned for the week so that our veterans, like Crystal said, they're in and out. We want them to be able to be a part of your communities. And we all know you need the members. So get your heinies out there. So other than that, that's all there
Right.
is, right?
Right.
Revs registration is open. That's going to be a great event coming. Our car show is coming. Our Veterans Ball is coming. We
Hmm.
kind of got a little bit going on, Crystal,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. All right, girl. Well, that's everything on my list. Did we miss
All right.
anything?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, well, we will see everybody at the beginning of next week. Check your newsletter if you need links or anything. Don't forget to comment, share this video with your service organization, please. We do know that some of you are showing it at your meetings, so we really appreciate all the support, and we're here if we can do anything for you. We hope everybody has a great day. Bye.
Bye.